we're going to be diving into the wonderful world of AI and automation to take a look at how some of these incredible tools that are now becoming available to us as marketing people can really help to turbocharge a large-scale video performance marketing strategy. So we're going to talk a bit about AI, but we're going to try to limit the kind of the hype and the buzzwords and things like that, and focus really in on some real-world workflows that marketers are using today to harness the power of these tools to really take your video game to the next level. So it is something a little bit different, but it's a brave new world and one that we're really excited about here at Whooshii. So on that, just a little bit about what we do here at Whooshii. So we are a technology-enabled video services company. So we help some of the biggest brands in the world to take their video strategy to the next level. We're a nose-to-tail, have a nose-to-tail tech solution that kind of runs throughout everything that we do when it comes to production. So we use technology in terms of how we form productions. We have a great big network of creators all around the world that we bring together in terms of finding the right talent for a particular production. We then help our clients to arrive at the right insights when it comes to forming that content strategy by being able to analyze their performance and folding those insights back into the right kind of creative direction with the right kind of data behind that. So we are an organization that fundamentally brings together people and technology to help some of the biggest brands in the world really nail their video strategy. So of course, at the moment, everybody's talking about AI and automation. You'll be excused for having your head feel slightly fried with everything that's going on in this world right now. The pace of change is probably at the fastest rate that I can remember in my entire life. I think it's just incredible how quickly everything is evolving in this space. And one of the challenges that we're helping to solve for our customers is how to kind of safely make use of this technology, kind of cutting through that novelty factor, cutting through some of the hype, and actually putting these incredibly powerful tools to work to deliver meaningful results in the real world. So I am going to talk about AI, but we're really going to focus on some real kind of problem solving here for marketers. So it won't be breaking news to most people on this webinar if I say that video is a highly effective marketing tool. Stu's talked about some of the power of platforms like YouTube. And what we're finding here at Whooshii is a lot of our customers are moving towards what we call a video first mentality throughout the whole organization. Effectively, what this means is that video, because of how powerful this is and because of how effective it is at moving the dial, it's now really sitting at the spearhead of the entire communication strategy. As we know, it is the most effective tool when it comes to audience engagement. And the rest of the content plan now really lives in the wake of the charge that video is taking in terms of driving results. And we know that video is very powerful for brand building. We know that video is very powerful for engaging audiences on social platforms and out there on YouTube. But we also fundamentally understand that video is incredibly powerful when it comes to pure performance marketing. So this is the type of marketing and the type of content that really does the heavy lifting when it comes to things like driving up conversions, improving things like organic SEO, lowering the cost of customer acquisition, and all that stuff. We've got tons of evidence out there that shows us just how more likely audiences are to find your web pages if they contain video. We know that Google absolutely loves rich media pages because they tend to perform better from an engagement standpoint. If you've got video on every web page, people will spend more time on that page. You'll generally see lower bounce rates as well. And the good news keeps coming in terms of conversions as well. We see that video on a website tends to play a big role in converting potential customers into paying customers or customers that take the right kind of actions once they arrive on your website. And this is also about, from a performance standpoint, making sure that you're maximizing your chances of discoverability with a particular web page. We know that products like Google are so much more than text-based search engines. They now have things like video search results. So you want to show up in those very important sections of the product. You've also got things like multimedia snippets as well, where if you've got videos, you're more likely to turn up inside those snippets. And also your thumbnail images will be pulled up into the image searches as well. So just by having a video on a web page, you are almost infinitely more likely to be discovered against pages that don't. So it's a very kind of important thing to have. So we know that everybody out there is hungry for more video. The more, the better. It massively improves discoverability. it lowers the cost of customer acquisition, it boosts organic conversion, and especially if you're quite heavily reliant on those paid conversions, like PPC ads, for example, anything you can do to increase that organic customer acquisition and more organic discovery is going to be a good thing. So surely we should just make more and more and more video, right? But unfortunately, there's always been a little bit of a problem with this idea. We know that video can really move the dial. We know that it's incredibly powerful, but there's always been this issue when it comes to the razor-thin ROI metrics that are typically associated with performance marketing, because one of the consequences of wanting to do video across multiple products or multiple web pages is that typically you end up having to create an awful lot of it. So if you've got thousands and thousands of products, or if you've got thousands and thousands of web pages and you want to optimize them all with video, that can get very expensive very, very quickly. So it's typically been one of the biggest kind of gotchas in the world of performance marketing over the past decade or so. We've all kind of realized the power of video, but at the same time, we're all looking at these ROI metrics going, but can't really afford to create a video for every single touch point along the way. Until now. So this is one of the areas where we are genuinely seeing AI and automation becoming super useful for marketers today. Now, this isn't something that's going to come down the line in the next few years or so. This is something that we are doing for our customers right now in the real world. So here's just one example of some of the techniques that we can use to turbocharge performance marketing. What if you were able to take all of the data that currently sits inside your organization and turn that into videos? So that could be the same data that drives your website. It could be data that you have about individual products. It could be data that you have about your customers. Most businesses out there today are incredibly data rich. And what we've developed is an automated video workflow that can take that structured data, all of that public facing data that currently powers your products and your web pages, and use that to automatically produce high performing content marketing driven videos at massive scale. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play you a quick video that just gives you a little bit of a tour around how this technology can pull the type of data that you'd classically find on a product web page and draw that into a video rendering engine and create a video. Now, this isn't exactly how it works, but it does just give you a good visualization of what's going on and now what's possible with the same type of data that you already have out there powering your web pages and now could be used as video fuel. So there you go. That's just a quick tour in terms of how the technology can kind of pull in that data that currently exists on your website and generate videos with no human interaction. So this is a completely automated tool now that can really turn all of that data that currently exists inside your organization into video fuel. So suddenly the ability to get to scale and create almost unlimited numbers of videos is now at your fingertips. And the cost of creating individual videos is in the single-digit dollar amount now. So this really just brings the cost of creating video down to a very, very low price point. the workflow itself being fully automated, incredibly fast and incredibly effective. And as I said, because that data already exists inside your organization, the lift is really, really light now. So we got a inquiry from one of our biotech customers recently to help them out with just this. So as I said, this is something that we are currently doing today out there in the real world. So this particular client, amongst many other things, sells antibodies. They have around 250,000 different types of antibodies for researchers around the world. So researchers kind of come onto their web pages, they go through various kind of drop-down lists and kind of search engines to find the antibodies they're looking for, and then they can then go ahead and order them. But the team wanted to figure out how they could use video to improve things like organic search, lower the cost of customer acquisition through organic discovery, and obviously boost the commercial performance of individual pages. Believe it or not, antibodies is a contested marketplace. There are lots of people out there doing it, so the importance of discovery is really, really key. So they wanted to see how video could help to optimize that customer acquisition journey. So this is exactly what we built for them. We built a workflow that pulls in all of the structured data behind each of those products. So it's an API that pulls from their database into our video rendering engine. We then used our creative team to design the right creative concept, the right graphic design, all the kind of asset creation went into that. So we built it and we tested it. We made sure that it could carry the right message and the right look and feel. We then ingested all of the multimedia assets that supports the product set. So that's all of the renders of the antibody, so all of the graphics, all of the charts and graphs and imagery that goes into that database. So everything gets sucked up via various APIs into the video rendering engine. We take care of all of that rendering, and we create a huge bank of videos very, very quickly. Not only is it the actual videos that get created in the automation process, but also all of the metadata that supports those videos as well. So we were able to create all of the titling, all of the tags, all of the thumbnail images, all automatically created, and then we then automated that process of publishing everything into our client's content management system as well. So the entire process from raw data through to having an asset ready to go live in the CMS was done completely hands-free once we built the platform. So just an example here of, over on the left-hand side, a snippet of the raw data. So that's the renders of the particular antibody, the product data, the description and things like that. And then just one of the examples of what one of these automated videos looks like once it's gone through the rendering engine and has been turned into a graphic. So the entire process, fully automated, enabled us to create over 10,000 videos in less than 48 hours. But much more importantly than that, this particular client now has a video rendering engine inside their organization that is ready to go whenever they want to throw more data at this. So literally all they have to do is drop more data into the portal and more videos come out the other end. Not just raw videos, but videos ready to go live inside the content management system at a moment's notice. So if they want to ramp this number up to 100,000, it would take just a matter of hours to get to that point. So when it comes to that performance marketing lift that we all know video is capable of doing, if you want to have video on every single web page or for every single product, we can now achieve that through automation. And really the possibilities for this are endless. As I said, if you've got a large product library, if you want to create personalized videos for customers, if you want to turn customer data into videos, if you want to turn your newsletters into videos, or if you want to automate your social posts. In fact, if you've got any text-based data, you can now turn this into a video using these types of tools. And the future for this is really exciting as well. This isn't just about what we can do today. Moving forwards, we're developing this idea that we need to stop thinking about video as being a fixed asset, and rather that an individual video can actually be a dynamic asset. That means that as the data that drives that video changes and evolves, so can the video in real time. And this is something that we've built recently and is ready to roll out. So if any of that raw data gets updated, whether you change the price or whether you change some of the wording in that data or the information in that data, that will instantly reflect in a new video. But we also have to understand that databases can be driven by kind of multiple forces, if you like. So say, for example, you are an airline and the prices of your flights change every hour, and you want all of your videos to reflect that pricing change. Well, now you can do that. Those videos will be completely dynamic, so all of that pricing will update in real time. Same, for example, if you're a hotel chain, or maybe you want to create a weather forecast once an hour on your webpage or something like that. By taking that dynamic data set and allowing the rendering engine to do its thing within the fixed parameters and the guardrails that we put in place, we can actually achieve that. The other really exciting thing is you think about the ability to create dynamic self-learning videos from a performance standpoint. What we could actually do is plug in our Whooshii Insights platform, which is able to run analysis across all of your performance data, and have a look at what videos are performing best and what videos are not, and actually have the system iterate in terms of how it structures the video or what it shows up on screen in terms of the text. We can set certain parameters in terms of how that video can be experimented with, and then using real data, actually decide what it's going to make more of or what it's going to de-scope all on its own. So it's really exciting in that sense. In terms of being able to address things like CRM in real time, we could run analysis that looks at the most frequently asked questions across your social media platforms. We could find content gaps and then make recommendations for what videos should be rendered to answer those questions or to meet those content gaps. And then, of course, we're moving into the brave new world of AI-generated assets. So that's actually getting the AI to generate some of the material that actually goes into these videos. So we know that we're moving towards a place where we can generate stock footage, we can generate music, we can generate virtual presenters, we can generate voiceover. So there's all of these ingredients that can go into this equation in terms of generating assets, having a dynamic rendering engine at your fingertips, and being able to automate so much of that content that is going to be so helpful for performance marketing. It really is a brave new world that isn't just somewhere in the distant future, but actually we're now able to do this right now, today. So of course, I'm happy to connect with anybody who's interested in learning more about that. There's my email up on the screen, but of course, if there's any questions right now, feel free to drop them into the comments and we'll have a chat about them.